Hello and welcome to FilmBite. I'm Kyle Markwalter. Today on FilmBite Reviews, I'll be looking at one of the final projects of the late, great French filmmaker, Agnes Varda. The film is called Visage, Village, or Faces, Places. Now this review is really bittersweet. Agnes Varda is a longtime revered filmmaker from France who passed away this past March 29th, 2019. Agnes Varda's films are ones that are not easily forgotten. If you've not seen any Agnes Varda films, I'd recommend to drop everything, stop this review, go out, watch one, then come back and finish. I'm serious. You should go just watch one of her films right now. She was one of those French filmmakers who's been working since the early 1950s. She preceded and then drove a lot of the creative work in the French New Wave in the late 50s and into the 1960s. For her film Faces, Places, she worked with French artist JR. JR is a photographer and artist who specializes in fly post pics, very large pictures that he plasters on the sides of buildings. In a lot of ways, it's similar to what graffiti artists do in sort of appropriation of public spaces and walls in cities and towns. JR and Agnes Varda co-directed this film, Faces, Places, and it follows Varda and JR as they journey around small towns in France, photographing people, and occasionally animals, and talking to them to understand their experiences and their memories. The people they interact with range all over the place, from workers at a chemical factory to farmers who raise goats and make goat cheese, to women who are the spouses of dock workers. And through the interactions that Varda and JR have, you begin to realize that this film really is operating on a lot of different levels. It starts off as maybe a project in memory. Agnes Varda, when she made the film, was getting very old and was having trouble with her eyes. And you can tell that she is working on trying to create a film about memory and how memory is created and held within your mind and within, especially someone who works in a visual medium like film.
J'y réponds à ce que je souhaite le plus. Les visages que je rencontre, les photographies, pour qu'ils ne tombent pas aussitôt dans les trous de ma mémoire.
But it is also about the people that they meet and the everyday philosophers and everyday geniuses who live and experience their lives in a lot of less high-profile ways, but who have a lot of experiences that themselves are really powerful and meaningful.
C'est surprenant. Et l'art, c'est pour surprendre aussi les gens, non? Allez, bonne journée, au revoir.
The film takes on extraordinarily poignant resonance as the interviews and the photographs and the visuals build up. It is both incredibly humanist and incredibly populist at the same time as these two artists travel the country talking to, photographing, and interacting with different people. The film also becomes deeply personal in a lot of ways. Varda is several generations older than JR, and Varda begins to take JR to places that were really deeply personal to her, especially in her younger artistic career. They visit a beach on the north of France where she did some of her early photographs, and eventually end up in a town where one of her old friends, Jean-Luc Godard, the French filmmaker, is currently living and currently has a house. And as the film progresses and you feel and you see these personal touches become involved, you can't help but feel for this great artist, Agnes Varda, as she nears the end of her career and her relationship with a very young artist who's really just beginning his career, JR. And you see how memory and time and place, photographs and images and people really are more than just mortal. They span timelines, they span time frames, and there's a continuity between artists and people who have that sort of artistic humanist connection with others. It is an absolutely fantastic film. It is beautifully shot. The places that these two artists visit, the people they interact with, the way they conduct their interviews and let these sort of questions and moments sit in your mind. There are images that are incredibly hard to forget because they're filled with such passionate resonance. There are also words that are spoken that feel very prescient, especially in light of Agnes Varda's death now, and moments that I think are accidentally incredibly beautiful. Varda and JR, for example, visit the grave of the photographer Henri Cartier-Bresson, and JR has recently been compared to Cartier-Bresson as essentially the 21st century's version of that great 20th century photographer. And when they go visit his grave, it becomes an incredible moment of continuity between photographer and filmmaker, older generation, younger generation, and the things that can bridge the gaps between those ages and those differences, and the way that art can help make that bridge happen. It is an incredible film. It is currently on Netflix, and I highly recommend it. I would give it for sure 4.5 out of 5 bites. It left me in tears by the end of it, seeing this incredible tower of cinematic ability create a continuity of art and humanitarian empathy with the current generation of artists. And for those of you who are real film cinephiles and nerds, the ways that Varda, through her experiences with filmmakers like Jean-Luc Godard and Jacques Demy and different people, the way she brings those memories into this, one of her final pieces, is incredible and moving, and left me thinking about the films and the images and the faces and the places for days afterwards. Thank you for watching. Once again, this is Kyle Markwalter for Film Bite. Remember, every movie I review is worth watching. Taste takes training. Train yours. Please subscribe to my channel, leave any comments below, and thanks for watching. And thank you, Agnes Varda, for all your incredible work.